Hello everyone, so I'm going to be doing a class guide on the ShadowWalker of Time class, which is 2017's Chrono Class. This is pretty much a really late video since I've actually had the class for the last 9 or something months, but I never actually got around to doing a video on the class. So I thought I might as well just do that now before the year is over and before the new Chrono actually comes out. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and actually put on the class and show you the art of the actual class design. Now this is the actual design of the ShadowWalker of Time class. As you can see here, it's quite nice. Has a little lantern there, there's little glowing bits. It's pretty much an ancient time traveler that time travels through shadows. So how you would have actually got this class is by buying the 2017 AE calendar from HeroMart.com. It's still around at the moment and will be around until it runs out. And then once you did get the calendar and got the code to actually get the thing, you would go into your book of lore, find where it is, and open the shop that contains the class and all of its accessories right here. So I'll just go through its accessories real quick. So it also has the accessories for the Shadowstalker of Time, which is the in-game version that you can buy for 6,000 ACs in battle on, which I might as well just show real quick. So the ShadowWalker of Time, you would go /join battle on, and then at the back here you would find Chrono here, and you would press time lock key and you would buy the key for 6,000 adventure coins. And then you would press class shop and it would open up the Shadowstalker of Time accessories and class. But it would not give you the ShadowWalker of Time. The ShadowWalker of Time is exclusive to the calendar and the calendar only. So as I said, I'll just go through all the accessories that the calendar itself includes. So the Shadowstalker of Time clocks, ShadowWalker of Time clocks, which go on your arms, Shadowstalker of Time staff, ShadowWalker of Time staff, Shadowstalker of Time class, ShadowWalker of Time class, Shadowstalker of Time armor, ShadowWalker of Time armor, Shadowstalker of Time helm, Shadowstalker of Time hood, Shadowstalker of Time hood wrap, Shadowstalker of Time mast helm, Shadowstalker of Time mast hood, ShadowWalker of Time helm, ShadowWalker of Time hood, ShadowWalker of Time hood wrap, ShadowWalker of Time mast helm, ShadowWalker of Time mast hood. And then the cape section, Shadowstalker of Time cape, ShadowWalker of Time cape. So that's all the accessories that come with the actual calendar. And then with this guy here, you would only get the Shadowstalker items. So other than that, let's go ahead and start the actual class guide. So be right back. Alright, so the enhancements I would actually recommend for this class is Hybrid. Well, I'm using Hybrid just to balance it out, since one of its moves is physical / magical and then the rest are magical. So you can either go Hybrid, Luck, or even Thief, because the dodge rate on this class, dodge is extremely important. But I would say just Hybrid to balance it out and get a nice attack power and spell power, so you get the best efficiency with this class. But Luck is also a very good option. And then you could also try Wizard, since most of its moves are spell. But my recommendation is Hybrid or Luck. So your first move here is Rift of Shadows, 1.5 second cooldown, physical, applies Chaos Rift, which is used for other abilities. Each stack also affects you and your opponent's sight, lowering your opponent's hit chance by 3% while increasing yours by 3%. If Temporal Eclipse is active, each attack will affect you and your opponent's focus, lowering your opponent's dodge chance by 3% while increasing yours by 3%. Both stack to 5 and last for 10 seconds. So this is pretty much this class's Temporal Rift stack, in a way. In a way it is pretty much the class's Temporal Rift stack, because compared to other Chronos, it works in a similar way, but pretty different. So you would pretty much just auto-attack, and it will only hit one target. As you can see here, it's putting Grant Focus on, which does that little decrease hit chance on the opponent, but increases your hit chance each time it hits by 3%. So it's quite a nice little thing there. You might see the enemy's damage go down time to time, but overall the attack damage of the class is not really that powerful with its auto attack here. But while that's happening, we'll go into the second move, which is Execute / Endower. Devour. 15 mana, 6-second cooldown, physical / magical. Strikes at a blink of an eye, causing up to 2 opponents' existence to slowly fade. Deals moderate damage and applying a moderate dot for 6 seconds. So yeah, this can hit up to 2 opponents basically and just do a little burn. And the burn also does actually stack up a bit, so it gets a bit stronger each time you do use this. If Temporal Eclipse is up, shreds the opponent and feeds off their shadows, deals moderate damage and applying a moderate hot to the cost of 6 seconds. So yeah, basically if you have your 5th move up, this actually applies quite a nice little heal over time for you, which is very important, since one of your moves here does do something not very nice. But yeah, it does hit 2 opponents, and I'll just show you the little dot that it applies and its animation. So there's the animation. I really like it. These little strands come down from the sky, and it puts ended focus on there. And it also applies your Chaos Rift with your auto attack, which is quite nice. And you can see that little dot there. That gets a bit bigger. Not by much. So yeah, it's not that powerful, but most of these moves do hit multiple targets, which is quite nice. Okay, so with your Vendetta / Umbral Stigma, which is your 3rd move, 30 mana, 6-second cooldown, magical, marks your opponent, dealing moderate damage and increasing the damage the target takes from all sources by 20% for 10 seconds. So this is pretty nice. This is actually the only single target move on this class. It's actually your nuke, pretty much, for this Chrono. So it's pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty helpful as it does increase the damage that the target takes. But I would prefer using it with your 5th move because that's when it becomes the most helpful. Because here it says, if Temporal Eclipse is active, singles the target out, recording their being in that point of time, dealing moderate damage. After a short moment, echoes the damage based off the damage you have done in the past 10 seconds. It's like all Chronos, it's based on the damage that you did in the last 10 seconds, and basically with your 5th move active, once you use this, it puts this pretty big dot on the target, compared to the damage you've done in the last 10 seconds, and pretty much just shreds their life. So I'll just use it without the 5th move first. So there we go, it applied Vendetta. So now it's gonna basically take increased damage by 20%. Let's use it again from all sources. As you can see, it's a single target move and there's a little animation for it. Yeah, it's a bit helpful without your 5th move, but not that helpful. Alright, so onto your 4th move, which is also a multi-target. Sacrifices your life force to constantly warp through the shadows, increasing your dodge by 300%, which is quite a lot. Basically, you can't really get hit nearly at all for 4 seconds, so it's not really a long time, but it's just enough to survive. And dealing damage up to 3 foes while focusing their attacks onto you. So it can be quite helpful in boss battles. If someone's going to die really quick, you can use this and it will focus that boss onto you so the person has time to heal, while also you won't really get hit by the attack since you're dodging so much. So if Temporal Eclipse is active, strikes from the opponent's shadows for moderate damage to up to 3 enemies, and healing 30 mana after 2 seconds to the caster. Costs health after 2 seconds. So this is not the really nice part. It does apply a dot to you if you have your 5th skill active. It's not a really big dot, and you can easily just overcome that by using your 5th and then your 2nd, because your 2nd will then apply a heal onto you after you use this. So then your heal will just counter the dot that this creates. But yeah, it does deal moderate damage up to 3 enemies. And it also heals back 30 mana, which is also quite helpful. So you could go 5th, 4th, 2nd, and then your 3rd for the nuke. So then you'll get 30 mana back by the time you use your 3rd, and then you also have time to basically use your 2nd again. So it's quite helpful. I'll just go ahead and use it without the I'll just go ahead and use it without the 5th skill active. So it will just increase my dodge rate, and you'll see I won't really get hit a lot at all. And it doesn't really damage the target because my 5th move is not active. If my 5th move was active, you would see some damage. So I'll just do it again, and they won't really be able to hit me. And you'll see that little damage over time be applied onto me. Okay, it did do a bit of damage there actually. So while that's happening, my health is going down quite fast. I'm just going to get out of there and show off the 5th skill. So this is probably the most important one out of all of them. And this is Temporal Eclipse. It costs 30 mana, 15-second cooldown, and it's magical. Amidst total darkness, applying Shadowed State, lowering up to 3 targets' hit chance and negating their crit chance by 30% for 5 seconds. So this is quite helpful because once you use this, the opponents are going to have, or your enemies are going to have, a very hard time trying to actually hit you. Plus their crit is going to be horrible. So if you use your 4th and then your 5th, basically they can't even hit you, and if they do, they're not going to do a lot of damage whatsoever. Then here you access new abilities as you warp through the shadows, applying Temporal Eclipse, and this is what you can use with most of your moves here. Increasing your hit and crit chance by 80%, so your damage is increased by quite a lot, which is really good when you use your 4th move then, because then you nothing can really hit you and you'll move faster. And that's why it's also helpful to use your 5th move, 4th, 3rd, and then 2nd, because then your damage is increased. So, and once you use your 4th, you get mana back, and then you can use your 3rd to start the nuke, and you have at least a 2nd to use your 2nd move, which has increased damage as well. So the damage that comes from that goes into your 3rd for your nuke, which is really helpful then. So that lasts 5 seconds. If Chaos Rift is up, applies Turbulent Rift, doubling your haste, but increasing the damage you take by 20 seconds for 5 seconds. So that's a bit not that nice. But yeah. So doubling your haste, so you are faster, but you have an increased damage take from enemies. They'll go ahead and just use that normal. As you can see, it just targets the enemies there and applies the Turbulent Rift actually, because Chaos Rift was in play. Yeah, Turbulent Rift. So my haste is doubled, but I get more damage done to me. Yeah, it's quite an interesting move for this reason that I'm about to show you. So if I go ahead and use the 5th move now, and I'll go ahead and use this one actually. Yeah, I'll use my 5th and then 2nd. As you can see, the damage has increased quite a lot, and there's a little hot on me now, heal over time, which is very nice indeed. So that can be quite helpful to counter with your 4th move when it applies a dot onto yourself. I'll just do it again there. So the damage is increased by quite a lot because it's nearly reaching the 2000 area. So now I'll go ahead and use it with the 3rd move, which is actually your nuke. So there we go. No, I don't think it worked. Oh, I'll do that again. Okay, I'll try it again. Okay, and now I did that. It doesn't seem to want to work. Okay, I'll just have to do it again. Use 2nd and use 3rd. There we go. So that was 6000 as a dot damage over time by using your 5th, 5th, 2nd, and 3rd move there, because that's your nuke. And the nuke for me, the highest was around 24,000 as a dot, so it's not that high, but it's quite helpful. Then your 5th with your 4th move, which is going to be quite nice. So I'll go 5th, and then I'll use 4, and it'll deal some damage around there. So that's close to the 2000 mark. So it does moderate damage now because of this temporal eclipse active. So that's quite neato. So now I'll just do a combo to show you how this class will work, and it also gave me mana back, which is quite nice. So I'm going to use 5th, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd once again, and boom, it killed him quite quickly. But sadly you could not really see the dot because of the animation, but it would have been around just over 6,000, I'm quite sure. There's the 2nd, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd again. And I don't think the nuke actually hit because it can miss. Alright, but that's pretty much the class. So onto the actual skills. The passive abilities. So your rank 4 passive abilities, there's Never Ending Dusk. Increases endurance by 25%. And then Harbinger of Shadows. Increases damage output, crit rate, and crit damage by 12%. It also has a rank 10 passive called Shadows of Time, which actually has a chance to freeze up to 3 enemies, so basically stun an enemy for a short amount of time, and also increase your speed slash haste for a short amount of time as well, which is quite helpful. Now that that is done, I'm actually going to go to a boss and just show off the power of this class with its combos, so be right back. I can finally see. So yeah, that is pretty much the power of the class. Wasn't really the best example. As I said, the dot can go higher than that, but it depends on how much damage you've done in that 10-second mark. But it is quite a great class, mostly for farming. Not really soloing bosses, but definitely for farming, group battles with bosses, and definitely PvP. It's actually extremely good for PvP battles. I might as well actually go ahead and show that. So I'll go ahead and do that, be right back. But yeah, once again, not really the best example, it was just a little example. It is quite good in PvP for a few reasons. It hits multiple targets, the increased dodge rate, and also the increased damage, and also just the nuke in general. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll definitely make a video on the brand new Chrono once it comes out. I've already ordered the calendar, and it should get here soon enough. So other than that, I will see you next time. And I definitely recommend getting the class before it goes rare. Bye.